that lipstick on my teeth? No, it's not. Oh my God, that would be awful. Oh my God. You know what? It's just, oh my God, I'm so pale. Okay. Hey my loves, welcome to my channel, Honest Aphrodite. Thanks for watching. Now let's get straight into it. Talking about another pressing question that everyone I think thinks about, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but it's really important to me. Can you be friends with exes? And to me the answer is no, absolutely not. You shouldn't. And why would you want to be? Why would you want that in your life, honestly? I mean, you can be civil with them. You can be, you can collaborate with them in terms of, moving life forward, especially if you have kids together or something like that. And if you're stupid enough to have gotten into business with each other, I mean, I guess you've got to kind of put the business before your relationship for a bit. Even if it's the business that broke it up. But it's just like, why would you do that? So my thought is absolutely not. I could never do it. I would never want to do it, and I don't see why other people want to do it either. And I've had two major experiences with this. Experiences with my own exes, of which I'm not friends, with which I'm not friends, but also watching other people who are a lot older and wiser than me, in fact. And they're both on completely opposite ends of the spectrum. So let's start. We've got some landlords that we have had, my husband and I had, an older couple, like late 70s, I think almost 80. Very, very cute story, by the way. They were together like when they were young, really, really young, like 7 or 14, seventh grade. What would that be? 12, 11? Either way. They were young. They knew each other in school. They even dated throughout high school. Then they went to separate colleges, but they were going to get married. Like, he even got her a ring, but she said no, and he got kicked out of school for, like probably scaling the absolutely scaling the girls' dormitory wall, and like the matron got him in trouble. So he got kicked out of school, which automatically meant that you were like cast off to the Vietnam War at that time. So he went off to the Vietnam War, and they just went their separate ways. It sounded like they kind of stayed in touch a bit, but maybe they just faded. I mean, it was absolutely not the time of cell phones and email. And so I guess all they had were letters. And so they kind of it just faded out. I guess it was the original ghosting. I don't know. I have a feeling like they didn't think that much about it. They just went on their trajectories. Maybe they knew they'd always get back together. Oh God, I just ruined the story. Okay, the story is they got back together. All right, sorry. But basically, they both married other people. They were with them for years. And then they got back together in their 40s, I think it was, like some 20-something high school reunion. And so they got back together. They met then. I think his wife had died, and she had just gotten divorced from her husband. And so they got together. They have now been together for over 30 years. So actually longer than they had been married to those other people. But they're still very much in the lives of their exes. Well, not the man, because his wife passed away. But the wife, yes. They and the husbands, the ex-husband and the new husband, they get along. It's like they think, it's like it's all just one happy family. And I mean, maybe it is because, of course, there were 3 kids involved. Like, the kids are adults now, so maybe that's part of it. But there were 3. I'm gonna open this yogurt. Okay, I need some yogurt. I need some vanilla yogurt. In fact, I love vanilla yogurt so very much. I'm gonna do a video on it, because to me, I think it's like the greatest thing known to man. Actually, this is really, really good. Even though it's low fat, good. I hate non-fat. Ugh, gross. This is delicious though. Aldi, that cheap store. It's amazing. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so they all get along. And they have this like little house at the lake up here, and they'll have family reunions there. So it'll be the woman, her husband, her ex-husband, their 3 kids, all of their kids. I don't think their kids have been divorced yet, or grandkids. They haven't been divorced yet. But it's like they all just hang out. And it's like, okay. And that ex-husband brings his new wife. Everyone gets along. Then there's a brother. So this woman's brother. Okay, rather than saying this woman, let me call her Carol. Her name is Carol. It's not Carol. I'm protecting her privacy, but it's Carol for our sake. Carol's brother has a string of exes, and they come as well to the lake to have parties along with this brother's new girlfriend. Mind you, they're all in their like 70s and 80s. So maybe it's a thing of like you get old enough and you're just kind of like, F it. Who cares? Who really cares? Like, I am this old. Everyone's still alive. No one's killed each other yet. Let's just all hang out. Why not, But that's really hard for me to understand because I would feel so much anger at my ex. I can't imagine not feeling angry at them. And you might ask me, like, why would you be angry at them? I don't know, for like wasting my time, for not sticking around, for maybe cheating on me. I think the ex cheated on her, which makes me personally dislike him, even though I have nothing to do with it. And the story has nothing to do with me. She's fine with it. I'm just like, well, I'm not. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hang out with your ex. I can not like him for you. And yeah, okay, call me petty, call me childish and cheap and like unable to get over the past, but okay. And I again feel like I talk about friends a lot and relationships, and I just feel like there's so many relationships in your life that you don't need to hold on to that particular one. I don't care if they were your best friend when you were married. You're not married anymore. Okay. And yeah, so there we are. I don't get it. I do get why you'd have to stay in contact if you have kids, because obviously you care about the kids. You want them to have the best life. And that, if it started with 2 parents, it's probably helpful to keep it with 2 parents, if the other one is still around. But yeah, I don't understand the kind of chumminess and the going out of your way to hang out with that person. I'm like, why? Why? Another example I have in my life is my grandmother. She's on the other extreme. Should I tell you about that first? No, I'm going to tell you about other friends first. I'm sorry about this. Other friends that I've had around my age, so they'd be in their 38 to 41, 42 now. They feel like it's their duty to stay in contact with exes. So they feel like it's their duty to stay in contact with exes. And I'm like, why? So I had a friend once, she had been broken up with by a guy who, I think they were college sweethearts. Is that what you call it? Or is that just high school? I don't know. They dated in college. She freaking loved him. He never wanted to take it further, but very classic, sad cliche of a story. They broke up, and the next thing you know, he's like marrying somebody else. And she decides that because they're friends, and for the sake of the friendship, like what friendship? Doesn't sound like a very good friend or partner or lover for that matter, but whatever. For the sake of the friendship, she decided that she was going to go to the wedding because also he invited her. I'm like, what cruelty is that you would do that? Like, is he stupid or is he just mean and a psychopath to do that to you? If someone had, been with me for all those years, said no to me, I don't want to be with you, I don't want to get married, and then married the next girl, I'd be like, excuse me? How dare you? Like, I would never pick up his phone again. Like, friendship over, relationship over, done. done, 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 So, but no, she decided to, put her pride away and, go to the wedding, and she tried to look like really, really beautiful and sexy. And I agree, like, go girl, do it, do it. Be beautiful in front of him, make him want you, make him feel like maybe he missed out. We all know he's not thinking that. He doesn't care. When people move on and they find somebody else that they want to be with, that they want to be with more, trust me. Sorry, I keep like knocking my chair into this. Trust me, they don't care about you. They don't want to see you, and they don't see you in that way. They're not going to suddenly change their mind because something's happened. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes with women that I know, it's a lot easier for us to be like, maybe this, like if they come back into your life and they're rich, or they've suddenly gotten super ripped, or they're famous, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have broken up with you, should I have? It's like, well, you did. So anyway, I don't want to just say women do that, because they certainly don't. It's a genderless mess up to decide you want to go back with somebody after leaving them. But trust me, she thought, going back to my friend, let's call her Anita. Anita decided to go to that wedding. She wanted to try and win him back, I think, because why the hell else would you go? Other than for like free drinks and food. You know what I mean? I don't know. Or to like stand up at the wedding and be like, I object. Is that what it is? When they're like, does anybody here have any objections? Please say them now. Maybe she did that. Maybe she was like, I object. You owe me, Maybe I would have done that. I don't know. But, so that I just don't understand. I also had a friend, again, around my age, a little older than me. She got divorced. She wanted to get divorced. The relationship was very good, I thought, but then at the end, it didn't seem very good. And I really, really do understand why they broke up, because he wasn't mature. He didn't treat her right. She really wanted somebody to give her a lot more money and time and attention and like buy her things. And I have to say, like, I think that's great. If you know that that's what you want in your life, go for it. And this guy did not give her anything like that. He wouldn't pay for anything. And you know what? I'm going to address that. Ooh, am I going to address that in a separate video? Because that's huge. A guy not paying for certain things, it's just like, no. Absolutely not. If there's anything that guarantees a turnoff, at least for me, and a lot of the women I know, it's that. I don't know how it works in same-sex marriages or relationships, or in relationships between people who are on the gender spectrum, who don't identify as men and women, like who takes that kind of, well, I would call it a masculine role, but it's not that. It's, I guess, just a dominant role. Like, who decides the dominant role? To me, like, yes, the dominant role can be man or woman, but like, I really do expect the man in my relationship to pay for certain things. So, oh my God, look at me, off on this tangent. I really didn't mean to do that. I really am just talking about my friend. Again, I will focus entirely on money and paying and wealth some other time, not right now. Ooh, but I do love that topic. I love it so much. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, she broke up with him. And she went on this path of self-discovery and self-improvement and, forgiveness for what? I don't know. And she decided that she wanted to meet up with him again, finally, like a year and a half after, I think. She was about to move somewhere or something, or I think move apartments. And she was like, let's meet up. And she had reached out to him. They met up at a bar or something, cafe. She was really, really nice to him. And he was, I don't know whether there was like, I forgive you, or like, no, I really want the best for you. And it's kind of like, really, do you? I don't, but okay. And then he played it cool for a second. And then he was like, he just like lost his shit. I mean, not physically or too verbally, but apparently he just didn't keep his cool. And he was like, you ruined my life, you effing B, and I hate you. I never want to see you again. I don't know why I agreed to this. Because he she was the one that broke up with him, and he's brokenhearted. So he clearly doesn't want to be friends with her. And she was trying to have some sort of closure, which is a whole other topic that I don't understand. It's like, you know what? Sometimes the closure is in your mind, and you've just got to give it to yourself and just decide that it's done. Even if it's not comfortable, even if you're not sure the other person is in a good place, just leave it. Let it go. You're not going to get the closure that you need. Like, because what do you want the other person to say? It's all right. I'm happy for you. I forgive you. I really want what's best for you. They don't have to want that for you. They might actually want the opposite for you. And that's also okay, because it doesn't matter. You're not in each other's lives. And I know, like, you don't want to go forward with like horrible vibes, or you don't want to live with like imposed, no, just you don't want to live with rancor and resentment and anger, because that just eats you up. Obviously you don't want to live like that, but you also just need to understand, like, you've got to let it go. If relationships end and they don't end well, and not on your terms, sometimes that's just how they are. Like, put that aside, get it to a place in your head where it's fine, and let it go. Like, push it aside, push it under the rug for a while. Maybe with time it'll just work itself out, and it'll be like a little pile of dust under there, and you can just sweep it away, or it'll blow away with the next person that comes into your life and gets rid of it. But it's just like, no. Don't look for that sweet, happy ending of a post-breakup relationship, because I can't see that happening. Whatever. I have so many stories of my friends doing this. And I was always the opposite. Like, if there was somebody that I had dated or slept with or been married to, because I've been married before, I really don't want to have anything to do with them again. Not because I actively dislike them or hate them or want something horrible to happen to them. It's just that I feel nothing. And I feel like I have so much to do in my day, so much to do for work, for my full-time job, to like just feed myself, to be with my husband, to like try and make friends, to go shopping, to make the bed, to mop the floor. Like, why would I make an effort to keep anyone in my life that's, actively not wanting to be there? So whatever. That's my thought on that. And so those were examples of relationships that are, trying to be the marriage with the ex, where they still are in contact. So those were some examples of like exes continuing to be in each other's lives and stay friends. I mean, something similar with my aunt. She has 2 grown sons. My cousin's like grown, like in their late 40s. And she's still in contact with her ex. Like, actively, like, they spend time together. They arrange holidays together. I'm like, why? Ew, why? We don't want him around? Come on. He's an asshole as well. Okay, but moving on to the examples in my life where they are not in contact under any circumstances. So, and this is how I would be, because it's the closer examples to me. So there we are. So the first example is my grandmother, my mom's mom. She divorced her husband because she left him 50 years ago, some crazy number like that. I think she was in her 40s, and she's 92 now. Oh my God, yeah. So like ages ago, probably about 50 years. And she left him. She never remarried. She never dated. As far as I know, she's never been with anyone since then. Poor thing. My God, but that's her fault. Again, for another story. But she left him, and she not only wanted nothing to do with him again, I think they might have I don't even think she talked to him or spoke to him when he would take the kids, like, for his time with them on weekends or something. I think there was no contact. because he wasn't a great guy, according to her, allegedly. I didn't know him, except when I was really, really little. There were like some pictures of me with him because, of course, my mom and her brothers stayed in contact with him. But either way, my grandmother wanted nothing to do with him. She didn't want to see his name, didn't want to see his face, didn't want to see, didn't want to hear anything about him. She was so angry at him. And so, yeah, he was basically wiped out, like completely dead to her. And she also just kind of like blocked. I mean, you couldn't block back then because there were no cell phones, but she basically just cut off that whole family as well. Which is weird because I get that. Like, why would you want to be involved with a family of someone who was really awful and shitty to you? But at the same time, she complains because she was like, they knew I had like 3 young kids and I was doing it on my own. They never helped me. It's like, well, I thought you didn't want them to help you. I thought you didn't want to talk to them. Whatever. She's definitely a messed up one. And again, I only have heard her side of it. And she's not the easiest person. So yeah, but she still holds so much resentment towards him. At one point, my mom and her brothers were like telling a story. We were all at my grandmother's house. It was a holiday. We were having a great time. My mom and my uncles were talking about memories of their dad who had since died. He died ages ago. And she was like, if you're going to keep talking about that, well, I'm just going to leave. And so everyone stopped talking about it. That's how much she hates him. I think she will go to her grave disliking him or hating him or whatever. Then we've got the last example, is actually my parents. They divorced when I was 17, I think it was. 2023, 2024. Oh, yeah, so 17, 18. I think that it like finalized in, I think it finalized in 2004, or it started in 2003, so it finalized in 2004. They were so close. Like, my dad was a mess. He was a wonderful father, a very loyal husband, but just never said I love you, and like never loved my mom. And it was clear. And they had just grown so much apart. My mom left him. My mom was like, I can't do this anymore, because we were moving to another country and it was getting messy. And she's like, I don't want this. And he's very much like, he's a little bit on the spectrum, I think. And just doesn't seem to have feelings. He definitely had a lot of feelings after the divorce, but, and he certainly didn't behave as well as he should have. But, he's very blank and numb to the point where like, he won't say I love you. He won't look you in the eye. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely on the spectrum. But the point is that they were so close. Our family was so close. We were always together. We were like known as this great, amazing, wonderful family. Everyone would be at our house for every celebration. We had so many friends. And then it was just all up in smoke. My sister was 11. I was 17, 18. So it was not as hard for me because I just got a job and then left for college and kind of didn't look back. But my sister had to actually go through it all through high school and just live with their arguments over her too. Because I was old enough to not be part of the discussion of child support, spousal support, and time shared. And so she was in the middle of that. It was awful. I need to talk to her more about it because I don't even have memories of that time because I was literally out of the country, literally out. But I do know that it ended so badly with my mom and dad that near the end of the divorce, I'm probably about midway through the divorce, when my dad was so angry at my mom for stuff, and I think he was sending her just like hate mail and hate voicemails and stuff, which it was bad. I get it though. I do get it. I get both of their sides. That's the joy of growing up and like seeing your parents as actual humans, not just like beings that are there for you. Like, they're humans, they have their own lives. And so I understand both of their reasons behind everything they did and why they got divorced in the first place. It took me a long time to get there, but I get it. It got so bad that my mom would only communicate to my dad through lawyers. And that infuriated my dad even more. So he truly hates her. Like, he called her a cancer in his life. It was so crazy. And my mom kind of just went numb on him to the point where she will not talk about him to this day. How many years has it been since 2004? We're just getting to the end of 2024 right now as I'm recording this. So it's been almost, what is it? At the end of 2024. So almost 21 years, you know? Well, it started in, I don't know when this started. Okay, 21 years, let's say. Because it's been an insanely long amount of time when you think about it. When you think about someone cutting each other out of their lives to the point where they will not even exchange an email about their children. And my sister and I have been through a lot. We have been through a lot, and my parents refuse to have anything to do with each other. And my sister and I are so accustomed to this that we just know, like, they will never be at a marriage. They'll never be at a funeral together. Like, we can't even imagine what would happen in order to get them in the same room ever again. I don't think my mom could handle it. I don't think she could. She's a fragile person in some ways. Very strong in some, very fragile in others. I don't think she could handle it. I think she'd just like lose her cool before anything happened. And then she like wouldn't show up. And then I think my dad would get all like triggered again and then probably just like leave or blow up or like want to talk about it. He'd make it all about him. And we'd be like, hey, your first grandchild is being born. This child is like in the room. We're in the hospital room. And he'd be like, yes, but you divorced me. So yeah, that's what I think. I'm just checking if I have like yogurt all over my mouth. Yeah, so it would be insane. My sister and I don't trust that they're gonna keep it civil, because they're just like wild animals. I think, with each other, and not in a good way, in like a horrible way. And that like if they saw each other, they'd just kind of like go at each other's throats immediately, you know? So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any time again in the future where we'd have them in the same room for any reason. And we've just stopped even wanting it or thinking about it. Like yeah, it is what it is. And you know what? That's okay. Of course, that's not how you want things. You'd love to have your parents in the same room when you get married. You'd love to have them at your wedding. You'd love to have them at the birth of your children. We haven't had children yet, so that's not a point. But like, I'd love to think that they would come together for that. No. I know they won't. So it is what it is. And you know what? It was bad for a while, but now it's okay. And they've both moved on, and they're both more or less happy with their lives. I'd say very happy with their lives and content, and they really don't need to be in each other's lives anymore, and it's fine. So those are the two extreme examples that I have in like from personal experience, and then the experiences of others that I've witnessed and learned from, of course. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that you can be friends with exes? Do you think that you should? I think that you can. I just don't think that you should. I think that's my main point. Anything is possible, but should it happen? No, not at all. And I'll leave you with one thing. Here's a perfect example. I'm married. I love my husband more than anything. He is absolutely my friend. Maybe even my best friend, because I'm with him all the time. We talk about a lot. I wouldn't say I tell him everything, because there's some stuff that I'm like, I'm just going to tell my girlfriends because they're my girlfriends. You know, they'll probably understand it a bit better, and that's fine. But I know for sure, for damn sure, that if we ever broke up, if we ever got divorced, I would not be his friend. Absolutely no way. We would not stay friends. I would not want him in my life. Even if like we had kids together, I'd be like, no, I don't want to see you. Whatever. And that's just me. That's me being petty and me just like kind of going off the examples I've had. But yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine wanting to like be in his life in any way after something like that happened. So there you are. You can go from the most extreme levels of love to the most extreme levels of hate, and then it can just peter off into something that's just neutral and numb, which is, you know what? That's okay. I sometimes think more of the world should be neutral and numb, then there would probably be like a lot less craziness out there. All right. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. It's where I'm going to leave you. I hope you enjoyed. Again, thanks for watching, and ciao. Eat some vanilla yogurt. It's delicious. It's so good. Bye.